What up, though? All right. Shoot. All right, let's get to it. So, Tiffany Henyard, right? The mayor and supervisor of these, places in Chicago who's put them in, $7 million worth of debt, buying, a Tahoe for $150,000, going on trips, and using the taxpayers' money. I'm gonna tell y'all, this ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. This ain't nothing new. And I'm gonna tell you something. She went to court and won. She went to court and won, right? And that just tells me that she's gonna continue to be the mayor. And this is why. Because she didn't get there by herself. She came from jumping in and out of cars, going to jail, and then 5 years later, she's, making $250,000 a year. I mean, in 5 years, that's crazy. She didn't do it by herself. And all of the police that are, backing her up without even a thought. Listen, there's always been corruption in politics. Always, right? You just can't believe what they say, because they're gonna lie to you. They always do it, and then when they get in that position of power, they pretty much do what they want until higher powers who are also crooked come in and say, you're doing too much. Like you could have done this much, but you're doing way too much. You putting those billboards up that cost, the city, that's kind of doing too much right there. Costing those people all those money with these billboards. And then the tip of the iceberg is whoever gets this position is only going to make $25,000 a year. Now you're looking at getting sued in so many ways. Now, before y'all come for me, I used to work in politics, all right? And I worked with some of these people. I worked with the House of Representatives. I was one of their legislative aides, okay? So I've gone to their parties. I've seen what they do behind closed doors and how they talk about each other and how the whole game is rigged, all right? And I was just a legislative aide, but don't forget, I was getting their emails. I went in as a temporary, and I was a temporary for the Republicans first, and then I was temping for the Democrats, and I ended up getting hired on for the state until term limits came up, and then my representative, God rest her soul, she left, and I went with her. All right. So you're not looking at somebody who had nothing to do with politics, knows nothing about politics. I'm not an aficionado, but I've just been in that life before. And what I'm saying is, they're all crooked. They are all crooked. All of them have an agenda. And whatever they do, there is always somebody who is more crooked backing them up. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Tiffany Henyard isn't there for no reason. She's not there for no reason. She's not doing this much for no reason. And that salary she's got, that large salary, Don't think for a minute that all that's money going into her pocket. No, she's paying somebody. She's working for someone. I'm telling you now, somebody in a higher position has her in that position for a reason. Now, it could be because they want the people in those cities. It could be because they want land grabs. Listen, don't be surprised. Because right now she changed the taxes, right? What she did is says the property tax is going up 5%. This is what she just did, which means that the people are going to start paying off some of that debt. Oh, no. It's going to get worse. She even said your tickets that were $50 are now $500. There's all kind of ethical things going on there that should have been got her removed. Because don't forget, ethics is a big, big deal. I just got into an argument with somebody over ethics. Ethics is a big, big deal. And if you're continually showing an unethical way of doing business, then somebody can come in and sue you because of ethics. Okay, now what she's doing is definitely unethical, but she's doing this in your face. You're not even allowed to go onto to the website, the Dalton's website, and comment. She's trying to lock everybody out who can do anything. She doesn't have that power on her own. The police have walked the trustees out of the door. The police shouldn't have been able to do that. All of those people are working on a higher level than what you understand. There is somebody else who's probably in the Senate or probably the governor, and I bet a dime to a dollar it's a governor. I bet a dime to a dollar it's a governor, and then it's a senator. And if you just look at Chicago, you've seen this before. Blagojevich was like this. He was crooked as a question mark. And then he got caught because of the whole scandal where he wanted his wife to have $250,000 job, and he wanted to get in the Senate seat, Obama's Senate seat, when he went and ran for president and won. But he got caught because of that phone call, and that he got wiretapped because he was trying to do some shicey stuff in the healthcare business. All right, and they just followed the money, and then boom, they found out who was doing what. They've always known he was crooked. It's just that he got so blatantly crooked that now it's like, no, we can't allow you to do this. Why? Because we, the people, trust the system. We believe that there are some good politicians out there looking out for us. We believe that if we make a phone call and complain about something and call some kind of legislative branch, that we can get stuff done. That's what we believe. But it's just not true. It's not true. And not at all. Because, I mean, as a black man, I still fear the police every day. Why, after all this time, do I still fear the police? Why? Why can't I drive down the street without having anxiety? Why can't I do this? Why? Because we know the numbers. For anybody who say, oh, you're just, look at the numbers. We know the numbers. Why do black women fear having a baby in a hospital? Because they know the numbers. They know the numbers. Why do your kids fear walking down the street in some neighborhoods? They know the numbers. We know the numbers, and the numbers are not lying. These are not puffed up numbers. These numbers are complete. They're in your face, and they tell you exactly, statistically, what can happen if you are in a certain demographic. We know the numbers, and people are like, like Candace Owens, oh, racism. Shut up, Candace Owens. You got your white husband and your half children. Good on you. You sit over there. But when the fits hits the shan, guess what? You're still black and so are your kids. And they'll do with you what they want when they want. No matter how much you seem to be on their side. They want to get rid of you, they will. They will Sandra Bland you right now today. And then walk away like nothing happened. And no one will go to jail for it. No one. So just, all these YouTube videos about Tiffany Henyard, listen, she's not by herself. Tiffany doesn't have that much power where she can just walk up and create all this havoc and have no fear of retaliation. She's got people in the shadows working for her. And I know because I've seen it before. I've seen it with Governor Taft and a bunch of other people. I've seen it. I've seen Governor Taft take $20 million and get a slap on the wrist by a judge. He stole all that money, gone. I've seen OGJFS, all their money gone. People couldn't get food stamps. We've seen the Red Cross do the same thing. This is a bigger problem than what the people understand. And it's because you don't understand it that you don't know what you can do about it. You don't know exactly who to go to. I always tell people, if you got a problem, call your state legislator. Call your state legislator. Start there. I don't care what it is. Call them and complain about something. Now, they could be in on it. But here's the thing. They have term limits now in the legislature. They used to didn't have that. Governor James was there for a long time. Senator James was there for a long time. He's like 90 years old. He's still in the House of Representatives. And he was doing a damn good job. But they were like, no, we have to have term limits now. So I'm telling you, for you people in Chicago, look, I know you guys are, going through it, you people in Dalton, but walk into your governor's office. Walk into it. Not only that, continue to walk into the governor's office. What's going on, bro? Continue to walk into the governor's office. I walked into a legislator's office and I saw the legislative aide, and this is before I became one, and I complained to the legislative aide of what my issue was. And she was like, I can help you. I said, I don't think you can, because I was looking for the man. And she was like, just give me a chance to help you. And I told her what my issue was, and she fixed it with one phone call. One phone call, and that was it. One. That was it. My problem was fixed. So I'm telling you people now, you people in Chicago, cry loud and spare not. That's what I would do. I would start bombarding my governor, my senator, my state legislator. Anybody above them, I would bombard. And they probably all in on it. Because trust me, somebody's getting kickbacks. If you listen to, where did she, gotta wear these glasses, that makes my eyes worse. What did she do? Oh, Tiffany Henyard is a mayor in Chicago, and she is a town supervisor of Dalton. And she's making $224,000. And she's saying that anybody who's trying to, because she's getting ready to run against someone, she says anybody who runs against me, they're only going to make $25,000. She raised property taxes by 5%. She spent over $7 million, and she put them in debt when they had a $2 million, when they were up $2 million. Are you siding? Are you sided or nearsighted? And do you have? I don't know what's going on there. I just got these glasses, but the more I wear them, the worse my vision gets. I mean, these are not very good glasses. I wish I had my old ones. My old ones were great. These ones are messing up with my eyes. I just got these, so I'm going to complain about them. But nonetheless, I am farsighted. Yeah, I'm farsighted. But yeah, so I just wanted to say that about, how you people can help yourself. You have to cry loud and spare not. You cannot sit back and think it's going to fix itself. You have to literally start walking into people's office. And then you have to continually be a thorn in their side. And you have that right. A lot of people don't know that. They think that the governor and the senator, these people are too high up. You can't walk. You can walk directly into their office. Listen, even when they're not in session, because there's a legislative aide that's going to be there. If you don't want to call them and blow up their phone and stuff like that, just walk into their office. Somebody's going to be there. Somebody's going to be right there, and you say, listen, this is what's going on. I can't pay 5% more in property tax. And, it's affecting all of us now. I can't pay this. I got a ticket that was for $50. I go there, and then they tell me it's for $500. I can't pay this ticket. I'm retired. I don't have extra income. You can state your case to the legislative aid. They have to start writing this information down, and that information has to get distributed to somebody who has to in turn call you back and say, we're doing something about this. This has to happen. It's not I walk into the governor's office and nothing happens. It's I go to the governor's office and something happens. I go back, something happens. I mean, there's been people who have been in cases where they lost a loved one. They thought nothing was, and the authorities didn't do anything. Well, they kept going back and kept going back and kept going back. And then eventually, you know what? Something happened. Their case got, whoever did it got found out, and the case got resolved because they kept going back to the powers that be, or they went over their heads. So that's what I'm saying. If you people think that this election that's coming up and Tiffany Henyard, who's been doing all this, is just going to walk away and go back to what? You're absolutely kidding yourself. She's not. Just listen, people who are in those positions of power, and she said it, she's already said it. She said, listen, these people are beneath me. She said they're small people. They're beneath me. Anybody who's thinking like that already has a plan for the next 4 years. She already won in court. She beat you guys in court already. He's like, hey, let's go before court. She beat you guys. Now you guys have more information what she's doing. You guys, you can't look at the ledger. You can't tell how much money she's spending. She blocked you from that. That's unethical. She's not allowed to do that. She's campaigning with the city's money. She used your money for the billboards that's going up and basically saying nothing. She's not allowed to do that. That's illegal. She's not allowed to do this. But being that you can't go in and look at where the money's going and what's going on with the money, she has a cancer organization, and as soon as she opened up the organization, it gets $10,000. You know where that $10,000 came from? It came from the people. She pulled it right out of one account and put it into another. Now it's hers. She cannot do this. This is unethical and it's illegal, but she's still there after she went to court. Why is she still there? Because there are people who are above her who are controlling it. She is a puppet. She is a puppet. And all the people she got working around there, they're all puppets. And I'm gonna tell you where I've seen this. Also seen this before in black universities, HBCUs. For those of you who don't know, I went to an HBCU when I was 26. I got a scholarship for track at 26 years old. All right, to run the mile because I could still run the mile in under 5 minutes. I mean, it just didn't take much. Nonetheless, so I got a partial scholarship to run for Talladega University. Talladega University is an HBCU. All right? Now, while I was at Talladega University, the students were complaining. And I was one of the students, but I was kind of watching. But so, student council, what they would do is they would take the complaints of the students. That's what student council does. And they complained because the dorms weren't being kept up. The food was like, come on now, the food should be better. And just the property should have been better. And then they turn around and they start taking away the sports. They took away track, which is what I was doing, so I had to start playing baseball. I'm not very good at baseball, but I jumped right on the baseball team. You know what I'm saying? So they took away track, then they took away some other sports because they didn't have the funds to allocate towards those sports anymore. And the biggest question they were asking is, where's the money going? Why? Because they were paying over $4,000 a semester. So they were paying a lot of money because it's a private school. If you don't know, Talladega, it was built by slaves. It has, if you go into the laundry, if you go into the library, you'll look on the wall and it has the whole story of Amistad painted on the wall. That place was built by slaves, so they get money from the government to keep that place going, right? So once these students start asking all these questions and start doing all the investigations, you found out, this is what they found out. They found out that the president and his secretarial cronies, whatever, they were stealing the money. So the next year, a bunch of students decided they were leaving because conditions didn't get better, it got worse. So you had like 1,000 students decide they don't want to go back to Talladega, and I was one of them. I did not return to Talladega. I came back to where I was living, and I started working, and then I, went to school part-time, and that's when I finally finished my degree. You know who took over that program? The people that came from another HBCU. You know why they left that HBCU? It's because of the same problem. They were stealing the money. So another president and his cronies came and took over Talladega, but they got kicked out of where they were because they were still, you see what's happening? So they were going from one place to the other, stealing money from, that's how they live. They come in like a politician. I'm going to make it better. We're not going to do, and then they start stealing the money. They take full advantage of the kids, and in your head, you're thinking it's going to get better. No, the place doesn't get better. They make a couple changes, make it seem like it's going to get better, but they're all stealing your money until what happens? The student council says, we know this is wrong. We're paying all this money. Boom. Because I'm going to tell you what happens. They come in, they start making a few changes. You may get one of the sports back again, but what happens? Tuition goes up. That's what happens. So you're like, track is back. Yeah, we can do this. We got a little this going on. They swept up over here. They got rid of the foreman, got a new foreman. They're fixing things. Things are a little cleaner. But now, instead of paying $4,000, you're paying somewhere like $6,000. They're still stealing your money, but they're just lying to you. They're making improvements, but they're making basic improvements that should have been made. They're making the school attractive to students to come back, but they're still stealing your money. That's what they're doing. That's what they've done. And this is why I don't think Tiffany Henyard is going anywhere. Because somebody else is pulling her strings. And I've seen enough videos over and over from Pink Book. I've seen videos from Deshae Jackson, whatever his name is, whatever that dude's name is, that lives in Africa. And, I just think that a lot of people are just unawares of what they can do because they're being bullied by the police, because, their organizations are being shut down. If they do something every year for the public, in the public, that's being shut down. If Tiffany Henyard, she got something else going on that day, she'll have the police block, where you were going to have your little outing at, and then boom, and then she'll block your business. She'll shut your business down. If you don't support her, she'll come for you. Like literally. She will come for you. She has a police detail walk her into her house. Now, I remember the mayor out here a long time ago. He had one officer with him wherever he went. He was an undercover DT or whatever, and he was armed, but you didn't see it. And he only had one guy. Nobody ever messed with him. Everybody knew he was the mayor. Nobody ever messed with him. You never heard nothing bad about him. He was the mayor. That was it. But this mayor, she's probably thinking people want a piece of her. That's why she's walking around with 3 or 4, officers. And one officer made $13,000 on one paycheck because they said he worked 300 and some odd hours in one pay period, which is literally impossible. You couldn't have possibly done it. What's happening? She's paying them with the money that's for the city to get better, to go out and patch up potholes, and to go out and landscaping and senior citizen funds and all this other kind of stuff. That's what she's doing. She's taking those monies and giving it to these officers, and these officers are like, hell yeah, I'm gonna say I worked all those hours and pay me $13,000 on one paycheck. Now the federal government is investigating her. And I'm gonna tell you, this is good and bad. Because if the feds investigate you and they don't remove you, she's gonna be there until her term limits are up. And then what she's gonna do, because this is something else, she also hired people who were also corrupt. They have a corrupt past, right? She hired a lady she has a corrupt past. She put her back into a position and paid her $100,000. I'm trying to tell you, she's not by herself. There's somebody above her who's pulling those strings. And until you find out who that person is, and until you can get that person out of office and stop that chain of command, you will never stop Tiffany Henyard. You will not. The only thing that can stop Tiffany Henyard is time. That's it. You'll never get her out of that office. And if she's in there for another 4 more years, you know what she's going to try to do? She's going to try to do the same thing other politicians did. They tried to move up. So I don't know what the position is, next position she's going to go for. But if she's mayor now and she hits a term limit, you know what I'm saying? Just like Rudy Giuliani, he would have still been mayor of New York. It was up to him. But it was like term limits. You got to leave. He hit his term limits. He had to go. Tiffany's going to hit her term limits, which is probably right after, if she wins the election again, boom, which I think she will. Boom, she'll hit term limits. And she'll move into, She'll probably try to, what, from mayor, where do you go from mayor? She'll probably try to go into the state legislature. Or she'll go somewhere else and become mayor. Just like I said, the HBCUs, they were corrupt in one place. They got kicked out. They got found out. Students made enough noise. They went from there, landed in another spot, and they're all together doing this. All these presidents of these HBCUs know each other. So they just jump from one place to the other, to the other, to the other, to the other. That's what they do. That's how they make their money until they burn out. That's how they make their money. I'm just telling you how it goes. I've seen it, and I've seen it over and over and over again. I've seen it with governors, because that's probably where she's going to try to go to. She's either going to go to the state rep. So she's either going to try to run for state representative, which she probably won't run for. Now that I'm thinking about it, she won't run for the state. I'm going to tell you why she won't run for the state. Is because if she runs for the state, she won't be able to get that $225,000 a year. There's no way she's going to do that. She can't do it. She won't run for the state. She'll probably try to run for governor. That's going to be her next move. I'm trying to tell you, she's going to try to run for governor. And if the governor that's there now, I don't know who your governor is, but if your governor is there now is the one who's funding it, she's going to move right into the governor's seat. And that's not what you guys want. So I'm telling you, she's either going to go this way, she's going to make either a vertical move or a lateral move. And whoever is the power that be that's helping Tiffany is going to help her make those moves. Not unless she makes such a blunder of a mistake that they say, we don't want nothing to do with you. And then she gets sent to jail. So, and then even if she gets sent to jail, she's not going to stay there. Name me one politician that's been to jail and stayed there for the whole time they got sentenced. You can't. Not even Kwame Kilpatrick. President Trump went and got him out. And Kwame Kilpatrick was doing the same thing. This dude would have him and his staff walk into a restaurant, and it would most likely be a black restaurant, sit down, run up a check of $500 or so, and walk out. Him and his staff. No tip, no nothing, walk straight out. Just and left it to the owner. And then when they start complaining about it, he was like, I'm the mayor, or whatever his position was. I eat for free. And they was like, what? Like, this dude was doing some crooked stuff. Him and his dad, they was doing some real crooked stuff. So they was like, you're going to jail. And he went. And then President Trump was like, get Kwame out of jail. You can't name me one politician that's been in jail and that's going to stay. I mean, listen, it goes all the way up to the presidency. We know that they're doing crooked stuff. So I'm just trying to tell you, if the only way Tiffany is going to get stopped is if she cannot be mayor anywhere else, and she cannot be the governor, because she's not going to run for state and she's not going to run for Senate unless she can get major kickbacks. Like, who's that lady that's running for president? That woman that's running for president? A couple years ago, she was flat broke. She was in debt. Now she's a multi-millionaire. Why? Because she was taking government contracts. And everybody's like, oh, a woman for president again. Yeah. That woman is crooked as hell. She was taking government contracts. How about our vice president, which we don't see? You know what she was doing? She was keeping people in jail that should have been out. She even kept one man on death row. Did not want to let him out, even though she had clear evidence to let him out. Look, I'm trying to tell you, it's really, 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 really bad. It's real bad, people. Our whole system is jacked up. If you think that there's a clean politician out there, listen, I'm gonna tell you right now, there's not. There's not a clean politician. And the best thing I've seen, well, let me not say that there's not a clean politician, because I've worked with some politicians and I think that they were all right. So let me not say that. Let me say that when it comes to money, a lot of politicians will stray. They want those large contracts that come from healthcare. They want those large contracts that come from, these people who are giving you, the jab and what they want those, because those contracts are ridiculous. They want those military contracts. That's how that, like I said, that one woman, I forget what her name is, but that's how she got rich. That's how the Clintons got rich, off of kickbacks. Oh my God. They're so crooked, it ain't even funny. They're some gangsters right there. So yeah, I'm just trying to let you guys know that you're not going to get Tiffany out of office. It will take the federal government to come in and completely shut her down. And not only that, the federal government will have to shut down anybody she's involved with. They'll totally disavow. They'll be like, I ain't had nothing to do with it. And they'll arrest everyone. They'll federally arrest. And that's what they're looking for. They're looking for her to make a federal mistake. And they can get her on a federal mistake. Listen, they can get her on tax evasion if they find out that she's doing that. If she's not paying her taxes the correct way, they can send one agent to her. Just one agent. And say, hey, how you doing? And, she can have as many officers around her as she wants. And they can just simply whip out that card and say, I am a federal agent for the Department of Taxation. And I need all of your cooperation. This is a surprise audit. And I'm going to go through all your numbers and I'm going to do it now. And she can't lock the door on him. She can't have a police escort him out. Because any police that gets in his way, he or she is going to look at them like, you want me to leave? And they're going to be like, yeah, you can't do this right now. They're not going to argue. They're not going to argue with the police. They're not going to, it's not going to be a Mexican standoff. They're going to say, okay, thank you very much. They're going to record the reaction so they can't come back and say, no, this is what we meant. They're going to say, oh, okay, fine, no problem. And they're going to vacate the premises because they don't want no hostility. That's not what they're there for. Then they're going to tell the powers that be what happened, and then the whole thing is going to get shut down. Just like that. The whole thing's going to get shut down. And anybody who's in there, who's financially tied to her, they're all going to get indicted. And then they're all going to start flipping on each other. And then after they all flip on each other because they don't want to do that Fed time, plus it's going to mess up their name, they're all going to flip each other. They're all going to abandon the whole thing. They're going to be like, hey, I don't know. I don't know, blah, blah, blah. They're going to be like, well, if you don't tell us what we want to know, this is the time that you're going to do because this is the evidence we have against you. Well, so-and-so did this. They're going to sing like birds. They're going to federally indict those people. All of them. And the officers, all the way down to the meter maids. They're going to indict all of them. but they won't all go to jail, but they will be indicted. And once they do that, heads are going to roll because they're going to owe the government, and the government is not going to play with any of them. Not to mention, you were federally indicted. That's going to go on your BCI record, and you can forget about any job, about any federal job. You can forget about any state job, any county job, and you can forget it. It is over once that hits your BCI record that you were arrested on a federal indictment. You can forget it. And that's how they mess you up. And then you're out here trying to scrounge for a living because that money that you got, that's not going to last. What you're going to try to do is move to another city, become, an officer or work in an office or the clerk or whatever you do. You're going to try to move to another city, and they're going to look at your BCI record, and it's going to be like, absolutely not. We know exactly who you are. We know exactly what happened. And listen, we can't even talk to you. They're just going to turn you away. That's what's going to happen. And you're going to have to work some regular job just like the regular people, or what you call the small people. That's what's going to happen. You're going to be a regular Joe. Just like us. Regular taxpaying. The big old house you had, bye-bye. It's all going to go bye-bye. But that's what I got to say about Tiff. It's going to be hard to get her out of there, but when she gets out of there, it's going to be an explosion. Your boy Tone 202, peace.